Hello friends, this is Deanna at the Bell Road branch of the Newburgh-Chandler Public Library. And today we're here to have some adventures in art. But before we begin, I would like you to take a look at the clothes that you're wearing this morning, including your shoes and your socks and even your underwear. I want you to think about the colors that you're wearing today. And when I sing this song, you're going to do what I tell you to do. Are you ready? Okay. If your clothes have any red, if your clothes have any red, if your clothes have any red, put your finger on your head. If your clothes have any red, if your clothes have any blue, if your clothes have any blue, if your clothes have any blue, put your finger on your shoe. If your clothes have any blue, if your clothes have any yellow, if your clothes have any yellow, if your clothes have any yellow, then smile like a happy fellow. If your clothes have any yellow, Well, I think you figured out what we're going to talk about today. We are going to talk about colors. Last time we talked about lines, and we're just moving across our board here. And on my board, I have some colors that I would like you to say with me. So let's start right here. Red, yellow, orange, blue, green, and purple. Now, is that all of the colors that you can think of? Or can you think of some more? Tell me some of those colors that you're thinking of. Whoa, that's too many colors. Well, let me tell you a story about our purple hippopotamus here. And this comes from One Red Sock by Jennifer Sattler. In a big pink chair in a room full of dots sat a purple hippo wearing one red sock. It looks funny this way. This will just not do. So she put on another sock, and this one was blue. Do those socks match? Do you have to wear matching socks when you leave the house? I know most of us try to, but sometimes it's hard to find socks that match. Let's see what happens to our hippo. I have to be fashionable or I cannot be seen, so she put on another sock. But this one was green. She stuck out her chin. This won't ruin my day. So she put on another sock. But this one was gray. This is driving me crazy. It just isn't right. So she put on another sock. But this one was white. Oh wait, that reminds me of another verse in our song. So we're going to take a quick break. Are you ready? If your clothes have any white, if your clothes have any white, if your clothes have any white, give a shout with all your might. If your clothes have any white, All right, back to the story. She was losing her patience. She told herself, think. So she put on another sock, but this one was pink. Well, I hope this one works. It's the last one I've got. And she pulled on a sock with polka dots. Well, it's not perfect, and it's definitely not red. But at least it matches my room, she said. So she tottered off happy, though her socks weren't a pair. And the other red sock, it had always been there. She was sitting on that sock the whole time. Well, friends, I'm going to go back to our board, and I think you noticed that I put the colors here into 2 rows. So let's say those colors again. Red, yellow, orange, blue, green, and purple. Now these colors are known as hot colors. So think of something that's hot, like the sun, or maybe a campfire. If you were to draw a picture of those things, you would probably use one of these hot colors. These colors are called the cool colors. So think of things that are cool, like a cool glass of water. You might use blue to color that. A nice shady green tree, or maybe a cool dark night would be nice and purpley sky. So hot colors and cool colors make up all the colors of our rainbow. And rainbows are one of my favorite things. And it reminds me of a book we have in our library called Planting a Rainbow by Lois Ehlert. Now in this book, a child and the mother plant a rainbow together full of flowers until finally they have all the colors of the rainbow together. So they have red flowers and orange flowers and yellow flowers, green, blue, and purple flowers. And I like this book because not only does it use rainbows, which is one of my favorite things, but it uses flowers, which is another one of my favorite things. So I think it might be time for us to check and see what's inside the art box today. So inside my art box today, I have 2 cups. I have our markers that are the colors of the rainbow. So I have red, orange, yellow, blue, green, and purple. Some people call this violet. I also have a paper towel. Now what I don't have in my art box is some water. And what we are going to do is we are going to try and grow a rainbow. So the first thing you need to do is to get some water and fill up your 2 cups. Now you notice, friends, that I did not have water in my art box. We don't put things in our art box that might damage the other things in our art box, and spilled water would probably damage things, right? Then I'm going to take my paper towel and I'm going to use my markers to make the colors of the rainbow on both sides of my paper towel. And it has to be a watercolor marker. And you can fold your paper towel like I did, and just a regular old paper towel from the kitchen is all you need. And I'm going to make a red mark here, and then I'm going to make the same red mark on the other side. Now here's an art tip. When I'm done with my red marker, I close it right away. And I close it until I hear the snap. And then I know my marker is closed, and I don't have to worry that my marker is going to dry out. Because you know what's no fun, friends, is a dried out marker. So that's another way that we can keep our art supplies nice, is to make sure we always put the caps back on our markers and we put them on tight. So as I'm making the colors on each side, I'm trying to make them about the same size on each side. And I'm really soaking that paper towel with this marker. I'm making it nice and dark. I want a lot of ink from that marker into my paper towel. And my last color is purple, or like I said, some people use the word violet, especially when they're describing the rainbow. Whoop. Okay, now I'm going to take the two sides and I'm going to dip them into the water on each side. And then we just have to wait. Now I don't know if you can see, but already the color is starting to grow up one side of the paper towel toward the other side of the paper towel. So we're going to let that sit for a minute, and we're going to do something else because I think I have some other supplies in my art box. So the other thing that's in my art box is a plain piece of paper with nothing on it except a drawing that I've started. Now I could color this in using my markers, but I'd like to try something different today. What I'm going to do is I went out this morning in my yard and I picked some flowers, and my flowers are all different colors. And I think I'm going to use these flowers to color in my picture. The other thing I have in here is I have a piece of wood that was cool and left over from an outdoor fire that we had when we had a little barbecue. And I have some dirt, just some plain old dirt out of the ground. Now again, you noticed I did not have this inside my art box because flowers will rot and get moldy. Sometimes they have little creatures on them, and so that's something that I would only get the day I'm going to use it. I would not keep that in my art box. The other caution I will give you if you would like to try this project at home is please do not pick anything from the yard until you check with the adult in your house first. And be cautious and know what you are picking, because some plants can be poisonous and can give you a rash. So especially with leaves and grasses, you want to be very careful about what you're picking, okay? All right, so the other part of this that's hard to do is in order to make it work, you actually have to really destroy the flower, and that can be very difficult. But I have a nice yellow flower, and I have my nice yellow sun. So I'm going to take my flower and I'm just going to destroy it right onto that sun. And you can see that the flower has given me some yellow. All right, I have some soil down here. Look, I even have some yellow on my thumb. I have some soil down here, and so I'm going to take my piece of charcoal or wood that's left over from my outdoor fire, and that almost becomes like a piece of chalk. And I can rub that across and make dirt. And then you can experiment because different flowers will do it better than others. So this purple flower, I'm going to just rub it onto this one. You can see I have kind of a purple color there now. And this big red flower, it's called a hibiscus. I only need like kind of one petal because it's so big. And again, you have to really just destroy the flower. But I've gotten kind of a reddish, purpley color there. So I need a color for my worm. I brought a little creature in from the garden there. I think I'm going to try these little red roses and see if that works. Sometimes you'll be surprised, friends. You might rub a flower on and it might be a completely different color than what the flower is. All right, lastly, I think I need some green. So I've got some leaves here. and they're nice and soft. They're not waxy. And they make a nice green for my flowers. So it's not the neatest artwork. I certainly didn't stay inside the lines, but it is kind of fun to do, and it's fun to experiment and see what kind of things you can get from your garden to make different colors. Like I need some kind of blue flower, don't I, for the outside sky. All right, let's take a peek at our rainbow and see how it's doing. Can you see it? It's almost there. It's growing from one side to the other. And when it's done, you can take it out and put it on a piece of paper and let it dry. And it will also kind of soak into the paper behind it and add a second rainbow. Like sometimes we see a second rainbow in the sky. I'd like to show you our artist today, and our artist is Vincent van Gogh. And Vincent van Gogh liked to paint with nice bright colors. We have a book about Vincent in our library called Vincent's Colors. He also painted at a time when artists used a really thick brush stroke, so you can see the brush strokes. And they would often put colors next to each other instead of blending the colors together. So instead of mixing the blue and the yellow to make green, they would let your eyes mix the blue and the yellow to make green. But what I like about these two separate paintings of Mr. Van Gogh's is this one of the sunflowers uses our hot colors, the yellow and the orange and the red. And this one, which is a night sky, uses our cool colors, the purples and the blues and the greens. Well, I have one more thing in our art box, and this is something that would be easy for you to do at home. I have some scrap pieces of paper, all different colors, and I bet you have a lot of scrap paper at your house too. So you can do this a couple of different ways. You can get your brothers and your sisters or your mom or whoever else is in the house to get together with you, and you can each pick a color like this, like maybe your favorite color is blue, or you can hide it behind your back and they have to tell you right arm or left arm, and then you just give them a color. And then you lay these colors out on the table, and if I have the blue card, then I'm going to run around the house and find everything that I can that's blue, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to put blue things on that piece of paper. And if the person you're doing with has the yellow card, they're going to do the same thing except with yellow. And then you see who can fill up their piece of paper first. If you don't want to do this in your house, you can also take these pieces of paper in the car with you, and when you're bored, maybe the other person in the car riding with you, you can have an outdoor scavenger hunt. You can look around outside and find things that are blue or yellow or pink or green or orange or red or any of the colors of the rainbow. So friends, I think that's enough for now. Take one last look at our rainbow here, and I hope you try and grow a rainbow at home. I hope, with the permission of the adult in your house, you make a really lovely picture with some natural rubbings from outside. And until I see you next time, we wave goodbye like this. We wave goodbye like this. We clap our hands and stomp our feet. We wave goodbye like this. Bye for now.